Hello everyone. This is Saichi Kohana checking in. I was gonna make a joke. I'm still a garbage. It's okay. This is the introduction recording for Vampire Kisses, which is a story I completed on February 24th of 2021. I started it on January 29th of 2020, so it took like a little bit over a year to complete. It is, I believe, 112 chapters plus an epilogue, so if you are here to listen to the full story, updates will be twice a week, hopefully, unless school gets a little too interesting, but I'm getting my recording schedule in order, so hopefully my editor can keep up. My editor is my sister, actually. And she has been so kind to edit for me and help me through working through the story. Okay, well, here is the introduction to Vampire Kisses, starting with chapter 1. Kokichi. I really hate all of this. Going to school, having to be trapped in a boring building when the only way of entertaining yourself is to tease and harass others. This is a problem because a lot of people avoid me because of this. Well, everyone besides Nagito and maybe Rantaro? Who knows? I have no clue why they still stick around me, but maybe this is mercy on my pitiful existence. I'm not sure, but I swear that school is hell. You must be asking, if it's so terrible, then why don't you just leave? I can answer that. My associates and I, in my organization DICE, we're all in a lot of trouble for the pranks that we have done. But they told me if I went to school, it would technically count as honing my skill, so they let the group continue to pull pranks if I stay at school. Hopes peak. God, I hate this school so fucking much. I sighed, hearing the last bell ring for the day, meaning I could finally leave this place and go have fun with my friends. Lots of the teachers here are concerned about me, mostly because I'm a troublemaker, but also because my parents aren't really around anymore. So my gang is the only family I have. They think maybe it would be better to have a good example about me, or a parent, but after my parents left, well, I don't really trust adults as much anymore. Also, no one in my gang ever talks about their families. Because we are a family. Hey, Kokichi! I heard Nagito yell from behind me. I turned around and plastered a smile on my face. Hey, Nagito, what's up? I asked as he ran over to me to walk beside me. He was suffering from the little jog he did, which makes sense seeing as he never does any exercise unless he has to help someone come to a greater hope or some shit. Sorry for making you have to talk to someone like me, but I was wondering if you knew where Hajime went? He asked, putting his arms around himself while his eyes went wide. He always wants to hang out with Hajime. I can't blame him. Hajime is the only person other than me who can tolerate him. And I think he might have a crush on him, but I won't say anything because he has a tendency to get flustered. And when he does, it's kind of scary sometimes. Oh, I saw Hajime hanging out with Chiaki near the front gate, I said, giving him his back a supportive pat, silently letting him know it was going to be okay. Thank you so much, Kokichi. You have no idea how much this means to me. He started going off on a rant, but I quickly cut him off. Just go. Hajime is waiting for you, I yelled, watching him quickly walk away to the front gate. I laughed to myself at how funny his and Hajime's relationship is. I started walking towards the house me and the group worked in. It looked like a normal house on the outside, but on the inside, it had all the tech we needed to prank others. Well, we never really did anything worse than maybe vandalism. I mean, one time, someone asked us to do a job for them, but then it was against our group's policy of no killing or hurting others, so I declined. And we went back to the harmless pranks we usually do. I know I act sadistic sometimes, but that's just my villain persona I put on, but in actuality, my group and I are super peaceful when we work together. It's a group policy that there's no violence whatsoever. So, when there's a disagreement between any of us, I settle it with a game. I finally got to the front door and knocked. I waited for about 2 seconds before Naki opened the door. "Welcome back, leader," she exclaimed, guiding me to the rest of the gang. They all waved and greeted me while I sat down on my chair. "It's good to be back," I said, giving them all a smile. "So, what are we going to do today, leader?" Akari asked from behind her big computer screen. "We could try to do that job we missed yesterday," Jodian requested from his seat next to Akari. "Yeah, that's a good plan. Let's do that," I exclaimed, standing up and going behind Akari to make preparations for our plan. Suichi. A burning pain erupted through my throat. How could I let this happen? I was just trying to do a job with my partner Kyoko, and then it happened. The stinging pain in my neck, she couldn't do anything to stop it. I just let the darkness consume me. Is this what it's like to die? "Suichi! Suichi! Suichi!" My eyes shot open, and I flinched at the bright white light that burned my eyes. Ouch. I slowly moved my hand to my neck, where there were now bandages over the wound I got prior. "What happened?" I asked, a little dizzy from waking up so quickly. I looked at Kyoko, who was sitting in the chair next to my bed. I assumed she was the one who yelled to wake me up. "Oh, Suichi, you're awake. I'll go get the nurse." She quickly got up and left the room. I sighed, knowing I got no answers from her. I was still confused as fuck. Gah. I groaned, sitting up and holding my neck, trying to stop or soothe the pain erupting from it. But to no avail. I flinched when I tried to speak again, to ask for Kyoko. Were there fangs in my mouth? What the hell happened to me yesterday? Suichi, how are you feeling?" Who I assumed was the nurse asked me while checking my monitor. "I'm okay. What the hell happened to me yesterday?" I asked, making them exchange a concerned look. "Well, yesterday you were attacked by someone, and when I finally got to you, they were already gone. You just slumped against the cement wall with 2 wounds in your neck. I rushed over to you and called for help, and Kathy came and helped me get you out of here." Kyoko said, putting her hands together in her lap. She looked disappointed. It wasn't her fault, it was mine, because they told me to get out of there and I didn't listen, causing myself to get into this situation. "From examining your wounds, you were bitten by a vampire," Kathy said, looking down to her feet. "A vampire? I thought that was just a myth." I think they could tell I was surprised because Kathy took my hand in hers. "It'll be okay. I'll teach you how to adjust to your new life," she said, getting up, grabbing her notebook. "How do you know all this?" I asked, concerned, but mostly confused by this batshit crazy situation I've been thrown into. "Because I happen to be one too, which is why I took you here. Because if Kyoko had called an ambulance, they would have used you for experimentation. Illegal experimentation, I might add," she said nervously, fiddling her fingers. I looked over to Kyoko, and she gave me a sad smile. "Sorry I didn't get there in time, Suichi," she said while her smile faded into a frown. "Well, I was going to start at Hope's Peak next week with Kyoko. What am I going to do now?" I asked, looking at Kathy. "Kyoko already figured that out," she said, gesturing to Kyoko. "Yeah, Suichi, you're going to start school at Hope's Peak Academy 2 days from now. This way I can monitor you and report anything I find concerning to Kathy. This will be a way so we can make sure you don't become like the vampire who bit you," she said, looking at me and then turning her gaze to Kathy. "We're not trying to take away your freedom. It's just to make sure you can adjust well," Kathy said, bringing me a glass of water. I took it and drank it shakily. "All right. Thank you for doing this for me, Kathy," I said with a grateful I didn't have to figure this out on my own kind of tone. "Of course, I used to be in your situation, you know, and I had no one to help me for a long time, so I know how hard it is to do it alone. So please, let us help you, Suichi. She said, taking the empty glass from me. I will try my best.